Smackdown starts off with Solo Sikoa and MFTs. Solo cuts a promo. He basically ends up mentioning Sami Zayn, Jimmy Uso, and Jacob Fatu. He ends up mentioning how he put them all down, they're nowhere to be seen, and he got rid of them, and that he's waiting for his next challenger. Sami Zayn comes out, and he ends up saying that he ends up mentioning the World Heavyweight Championship, mentioning how he wants to win it, and how he ended up putting too much pressure over the World Heavyweight Championship, and that he felt like he needed to win it in that moment. Then he ends up mentioning Rusev and how that Solo cost him an opportunity to eventually get a world title shot, but he ends up thanking Solo to make him, calm down a bit, refocus his game plan, and to focus on other things. Then he ends up saying that the thing he's going to start focusing on is the other championship he hasn't won, which is the United States Championship. Then Solo gets frustrated, he gets angry, he ends up mentioning how Sami Zayn is not even a SmackDown superstar. He's on Raw, so he can't even go after the U.S. Championship, and that he just need to leave because he would never become U.S. Champion. Then Sami Zayn ends up revealing that he is officially a SmackDown superstar and that he's going to take something away from Solo since he took away his championship opportunity to become World Heavyweight Champion. Solo and the MFTs ends up jumping Sami Zayn. That's when you get Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu. They come out for the save. This eventually leads to a 6-man tag match in the main event. Okay, I'm very mixed on this because I don't love this, but I don't hate it. Number one, when did Sami Zayn become a SmackDown superstar? Did this just become a thing tonight, or was he always a SmackDown superstar for the past few weeks? They just decided now to tell her. Because the only logical thing is that since LA Knight's a Raw superstar, you got to transfer someone over to SmackDown. They did this before with Kevin Owens, so I'm assuming that they did the transfer that way. Now, I'm a little mixed on this because I kind of don't want Sami Zayn in a U.S. title picture because he's been focused on the World Heavyweight Championship picture. But the only thing I could think of is that they don't see Sami Zayn in the World Heavyweight picture until maybe Royal Rumble, because a lot of people are assuming that he's just going to win the Royal Rumble since it's in Saudi Arabia. I'm still iffy on that because just because he's going to be the favorite doesn't mean he's going to win. Like that's just not how it works. But so, because I'm assuming they probably want to run this the Roman Punk, LA Knight, Jey Uso Vortex for a couple of months before Sami gets inserted to that picture. So they may just have him win the Rumble. Who knows? That could be the play. So they may just want to separate him from the world title scene for a bit before he actually goes for it. So fine. That's the only thing I could think of why I may enjoy this. So I don't hate it, but I don't like it because I don't mind a short U.S. title reign from Sami before he becomes world champion if that is the play. I just hope that this is not a pivot from, hey, we're not going to give him the world title, so we're just going to give him a mid-card title just so he can have something. I hope that's not the case. I hope that they're eventually going back to the World Heavyweight Championship scene with Sami Zayn because he desperately needs to be in that title picture. So this does eventually lead to the main event, which we all know what ends up happening in that main event. Which of course, the babyface ends up winning. Of course, Sami Zayn ends up getting the pinfall over Solo Sikoa, which I don't understand why. Why is Solo keep getting pinned? I don't understand. Like, I don't mind weak champions getting pinned, but you are pinning him way too much. He should not be getting pinned in every non-title match. Like I don't understand it. So now that Sami Zayn has pinned Solo twice, he has to be the number one contender, right? Like, what does Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu have to do with this at this point? Like, he should clearly be the number one contender. You pinned him twice. You pinned him once in a one-on-one match and once in a tag match. He has to get a title shot now. I swear, what I feel like they're about to do is do like some type of triple threat or fatal four-way at some PLE, which shouldn't be happening. Like, I get Jacob Fatu lost at SummerSlam, but I'm sorry. Sami Zayn has pinned the champion twice. He should get a one-on-one match at that point. Like, that's how it should work. Like, there's no way you're about to convince me that Jimmy Uso or Jacob deserve it at this point. He pinned the champion twice. So I'm assuming Sami Zayn has to get a championship opportunity, which I don't mind. Like I said, as long as they eventually go back to the World Heavyweight Championship, I'm fine with this whole little side quest, but I just fear that this is going to be like a permanent side quest, and they're not going to revisit the whole World Heavyweight Championship thing until like next year, like this time next year. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm somewhat interested, but I'm also a little bit worried, but we'll see how this plays out. All right, we end up getting Alexa Bliss versus Piper Niven. We end up getting the most boring and predictable match ever. Alexa Bliss wins. The Secret Harvest attacks them after the match stands tall. Okay. I don't know where this story is going. I'm assuming this is eventually going to lead to a tag team championship opportunity. My only question is, why would it lead to a tag team championship opportunity if that is the play here? Because if that is the play, if you're gonna have these tag teams feud, why have Charlotte and Alexa Bliss beat both tag team members? That's my only argument. Well, technically Charlotte beat it Chelsea Green, but still, why have Charlotte and Alexa Bliss beat them twice already in singles matches, and then have the Secret Harvest attack them afterwards? Because I'm assuming that next week they're going to be like, let's do a tag team championship opportunity match, which they're going to win again. So you're going to have them win 3 times in a row? Like, that just seems kind of unnecessary. Like, and it's so unfortunate because like I love all these women, but this is just so boring, no depth at all. And the Secret Harvest has to be one of the most boring factions ever. And the thing is, I love Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is the only saving grace of that group. Piper Niven, so boring. And the thing is, I don't even think she's as bad as she is. She just looks worse due to the gimmick. Her wrestling in a fucking tuxedo for whatever reason. I get it's part of the gimmick, but it just makes everything worse. Then you have Alba Fire, who I love, who I adore, who I think is very underrated, but she looks completely terrible in everything she does due to this gimmick that she is given. Like, I have no interest in this. I don't know where this is going, but whatever it is, something needs to change very fast, because this is just so boring. This wasted so much time on TV, and this was just terrible. This was just downright terrible. Now, the most interesting thing of the show, which was Mello Don't Miss versus, and I already forgot the team that they Fraxim. I almost forgot the team they faced. Mello Don't Miz ended up picking up the victory due to they was telling the story of Miz constantly being that trying to basically control Mello to a degree, while Mello is trying to break free, do his own thing. Throughout the match, they kept tagging each other in, tagging each other out. Throughout towards the end of the match, Mello had Nathan Frazier beat. He's about to hit his finisher, but Miz ends up tagging himself in, hits his finisher to pick up the victory. And then later in the show, it was a moment between them and Motor City Machine Guns. They get back and forth, and Mello was about to ask for a U.S. title shot, but Miz ends up interrupting him. Stopping him before he could ask Nick Aldis. Then Motor City ends up mentioning how is Mello him or is he his, referring to the Miz. That segment was very funny because what Chris Sabin ended up saying was kind of somewhat true, and then the Miz ends up responding back, ends up calling them Motor City Squirt Guns, which I thought was hilarious. So they're telling the story of Mello potentially turning babyface, and Mello ended up getting cheered in the match. A match against Fraxon, he was getting cheered. Now, I think Mello is from Boston, so that could play a factor into why he got cheered. So I'm not going to get my hopes up because he could easily not get cheered next week. But I hope we continue to get the cheers from Mello next week. Now, the thing is, most people already say Mello is not a good babyface. I think the opposite. I think he's an okay babyface. So if he does turn babyface, I think it would be the right decision. I'm not getting my hopes up because if the play is to turn him babyface and eventually go at the U.S. Championship, how is that going to work when you have Sami Zayn, Jimmy Uso, Jacob Fatu all in that U.S. title picture? Because I don't see Triple H all of a sudden being like, you know what, we're not going to put the blood... Because he's easily going to put the Bloodline Vortex over Carmelo Hayes any day. So I don't see how that's going to play out. But who knows? The championship title picture could easily change within the next few months. So this is interesting. Mello turning babyface, eventually turning on The Miz. I do see that being somewhat interesting. Let's hope that it goes somewhere. I'm not getting my hopes up because it is Carmelo Hayes, after all, with his terrible booking. So let's hope that, you know, this babyface turn, or if they actually pull the trigger, because who knows, this could be another Austin Theory for all we know. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm not getting my hopes up, but this is interesting. I will say that. But that is the only interesting thing about this show. But we'll see how this plays out. We end up getting Drew McIntyre. He cuts a very simple, basic, boring promo about Cody. Basically, he ends up mentioning what happened last week and ends up saying that he did what he did last week because he defended himself. That's basically the promo. That's really it. So we'll see how this eventual feud play out. This promo sucked. I'm just gonna be, it was terrible. And it's very rare that a Drew McIntyre promo was bad, but this promo just was boring. Like, it was just very boring. All he did was just mention what happened last week. He defended himself, and then he ends up mentioning how Cody adores the fans and how he needs the WWE Undisputed Championship. I just don't see a world where Drew McIntyre wins that championship because he's been booked like a loser for so long. Like, bro, ever since Bad Blood last year, he has not been in a meaningful feud. Because after Bad Blood, they literally put him in a battle with Damian Priest. Then they put him with the whole Jelly Roll incident. Y'all have not shown us that he's a credible threat in, like, damn near a year, but now all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe that he's a serious threat. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I just can't. Like, I just can't actually believe that Drew McIntyre is an actual threat towards Cody. Because I feel like I know where this is going. He's going to have the match at Clash. Cody beats him. Maybe have another rematch. Cody beats him again. And then we move on. I feel like I already know the recipe for this match. It should be interesting. The match should be a banger. But the actual story and the actual me believing that Drew's going to win, even though I think he should win, I just have a hard time believing in it. But let's see how this plays out. Then we end up getting DIY for Street Profits. Street Profits win. I wasn't really going to mention this. The only reason why I mention this is because this does have tag team title implications, because they keep mentioning how they want to go back after the tag titles, and I hope eventually they do. And hopefully they eventually do get another shot at the Wyatt Six. Now, I don't see the Wyatt Six losing those titles anytime soon, because it looks like they're going to be going after a couple of people as well, because they was in a couple backstage segments with The Miz, so it looks like they're going after him. So that should be very interesting. So I'm very confused on where the story is going, because it looks like they're going after The Miz again, but they're going to be tag team champions, but they're also teasing a Mellow breakup. So we don't know where this is all going, but we'll see how this all plays out. Overall, this SmackDown was terrible. This SmackDown sucked. Very boring. It's been boring for the past few months. It's been boring for a very long time, to be honest. Ever since Roman went on a hiatus after losing to Cody, it's been terrible, to be honest. But we'll see how these stories play out. You guys let me know your overall thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.